And we shall be revising the Murli dated 23rd of December 1985. A very deep Murli where Baba is speaking about how to go beyond limited desires, and the virtue that Baba is talking about is being pure. And then while meeting teachers, he speaks about the virtue of contentment in the conference age. The title of the Murli is A Conqueror of Lust is one who is beyond all limited desire. So let's take a moment to connect ourselves with the most supreme, pure soul, that's Baba. And in that connection, let's listen to his teachings and verses that he wishes to speak to us today. Bab Dada is seeing his small, elevated, and happy world. On the one side, there is the very big, tasteless world. On the other side is a small, happy world. The tasteless world is the current, wiseful world, and the happy world, which Baba is talking about, is the world of conference age, the time where Baba is meeting handful of his children who understands or can connect with the presence of the Supreme Soul in this world. In this happy world, there are the Brahmin souls who are full of happiness and peace because this life of purity and cleanliness is the basis of a happy and peaceful life. Where there is purity and cleanliness, there cannot be any name or trace of sorrow or peacelessness. The small, happy world is in the fortress of purity. If you step outside the fortress of purity, even in your thoughts, you experience the influence of sorrow and peacelessness. If the foot of your intellect remains in this fortress, there cannot then be any wave of sorrow or peacelessness, not even in your dreams, let alone in your thoughts. Forget about just being in your thoughts. Even in your dreams, there cannot be any wave of sorrow or peacelessness. If there is the slightest experience of sorrow or peacelessness, there is definitely the influence of one type or another of impurity. So the checking point is any disturbance for a second or a moment that we experience, what we need to check is where have I missed out on purity? Purity does not just mean becoming a conqueror of lust and thereby a conqueror of the world, because all limited desires are the creation of the vice of lust. To be a conqueror of lust means to be victorious over all desires because each desire has a huge progeny. One is a desire for physical possessions. The second desire is to attain something limited from people. Thirdly, many types of limited desires arise in fulfilling relationships. Fourthly, limited desires also arise within the intention to do service. To finish all these four types of desire means to be victorious over sorrow and peacelessness for all time. Now ask yourself, have I finished all these four types of desires? If any perishable thing attracts you, then that is definitely an attachment in the form of a desire. If any perishable thing attracts you, then that is definitely an attachment in the form of a desire. You change the words, and what do you say? Baba says you change the words and say in a royal way, I do not want it, but I like it. When an object or a person has a special attraction for you, when you like just that particular object or person, it means there is a desire. That is a desire. It is right when you say that you like everything and everyone, but it is wrong to say that you like just a particular thing or person. That is a royal form of desire. If you like someone's service, someone's sustenance, virtues, effort, renunciation, or nature, to take the fragrance of that goodness or to imbibe that goodness yourself is a different matter from thinking that you like that one in particular because of that one's goodness. This is because that goodness then changes into a desire. It is a desire. You are then unable to face sorrow or peacelessness. One is to deprive yourself of becoming good because of that one's goodness. The other is the feeling of enmity that also brings you down. One is a desire to be impressed, the other is a desire is due to jealousy or holding a grudge against someone. These also finish your happiness and peace. Your mind then is in constant upheaval. The signs of being impressed or are attachment and subservience. Similarly, the sign of having feelings of jealousy or enmity are to try and to justify yourself and being stubborn. So Baba is today giving us very simple, practical checkings that we can do for ourselves and see where are we today in the stage of purity. You are then unaware of how much time and energy are wasted in having both these types of feeling. Both causes a great loss. They distress you and also cause distress for others. At such a time, the chant from such souls is, I have to take and cause sorrow. No matter what happens, I have to do this. It is their desires that are speaking at that time. It is not the Brahmin soul speaking at that time. This is why the feet of their intellects step outside the world of happiness and peace. Therefore, become victorious over these royal desires. Go beyond these desires and have the stage of being ignorant of even the knowledge of desires. Look at the deeper point that Baba is saying. Forget about your knowing desires. Baba says, be ignorant of even the knowledge of desires. When you have a thought due to either type of feelings, that you will definitely demonstrate this by doing something. To whom would you demonstrate it? To the father or the Brahmin family? To whom would you show it? In that case, just consider that as not just demonstrating, but demonstrating falling. Is that the wonder that you want to demonstrate? Is falling something you would be proud of showing others? The intoxication of limited attainment, I will demonstrate by doing this service. I will demonstrate by glorifying the name. Check whether these words are royal. You speak the language of lions, but you become like sheep. Nowadays, people wear the face mask of a tiger, an elephant, Ravan, or Rama. So, this too is Maya wearing the face of a tiger. I will definitely demonstrate this. I will do this. However, Maya influences you and turns you into a sheep. To have any consciousness of mind means to be influenced by one type of limited desire or other. Speak Yukti Yukt language and also have Yukti Yukt feelings. This is not cleverness, but it is experiencing defeat every cycle and becoming part of the moon dynasty instead of the sun dynasty. You will then have to become part of the moon dynasty every cycle. So, is that defeat or cleverness? Do not show such cleverness. Do not become arrogant. Do not insult anyone. Both of these feelings distance you from having good wishes and pure feelings. So check. There is not the slightest arrogance or feelings of insult. Is there? Baba says where there is arrogance or feelings of insult, that person can never be stable in the stage of self respect. Self respect makes you step away from all desires so that you would then constantly swing in the swings of happiness and peace in the world of happiness. This is called being a conqueror of all desires and a conqueror of the world. So Babdada was seeing the small happy world. Why do you go from the world of happiness of your own world into a foreign land with the food of your intellect? A religion that is not yours, a land that is not yours, would always cause you sorrow. Your original religion and your original land give you happiness. So, you are the children of the Father who is the ocean of happiness. You are souls who have experienced the world of happiness. You are souls who have a right, and so you must always remain happy and peaceful. Do you understand? All the loving children from this land and abroad have arrived at their home, their father's home, to claim their right. Seeing the children who have a right, Babdada is also pleased. Just as you have come here in happiness, similarly, the method of remaining constantly happy is to renounce both of those things, even in your thoughts, and to become fortunate for all time. You have come to claim your fortune, but along with claiming your fortune, you also have to leave behind any weaknesses of the mind that obstructs your flying stage. To renounce this means to claim something acha to those who always live in the world of happiness and who are conquerors of all desires, to the elevated souls who constantly have good wishes and pure feelings for all souls, to the special souls who constantly remain stable on the seat of self respect, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. From us children, love, remembrance, and namaste to Bapdada. Bapdada meeting teachers. What jewels do all of you consider yourselves to be? Someone sitting there responded as jewels of contentment. At the present time, especially, it is contentment that is essential. Which goddess is worshipped the most? So, on the very first day of Navratri, which started yesterday, and today's Murli Bab is talking about one of the goddesses. Let's see which one he's speaking about. And as we're talking about the virtue of contentment, I'm sure each one of us know about whom Baba is talking. The goddess of contentment that is Santoshima. It is easy to please the goddess of contentment. The goddess of contentment very quickly becomes content. Why is the goddess of contentment worshipped? Because there is a lot of tension at a present time. Baba spoke about this way back in 1985, when today, after 30 years, 40 years, today we are in 2025, this tension has only increased. There is a lot of distress, and because of this, discontentment continues to increase. This is why everyone is looking for ways to remain content, but they are unable to do this. So, at such a time, all of you have to become jewels of contentment and give everyone the enlightenment of contentment. Make others content with your enlightenment of contentment. First of all, remain content with yourself, then remain content with service, and then remain content with your relationships. For only then will you be called a jewel of contentment. You need to have three certificates of contentment: one from yourself, one from service, and the third from your companions. You have claimed all these three certificates, have you not? It is good that you have come away from the upheavals of the world and reached Achalghar, the home of stability. This father's place is Achalghar. To arrive at Achalghar is also a sign of great fortune. It was because you had renunciation that you arrived at Achalghar. You have become fortunate, but you can extend the line of your fortune as much as you want. You have come on the list of those who are fortunate because you now belong to God, and this is why you have become fortunate. You stepped away from everyone else and made the one belong to you, and this is why you have become fortunate. Bapdada is pleased to see this courage in you children. No matter what you are elevated in your renunciation and courage in service. No matter if you are young or new, Babdada is congratulating you for your renunciation and courage. Babdada looks at you with this regard. There is importance even in becoming an instrument, whilst constantly continuing to move forward with this importance. You will become great souls in the world and become very well known. So, you know your own greatness, do you not? To the extent that you are great, so you are humble, just as the sign of a fruitful tree is that it bows down. Similarly, those who are humble are the ones who eat the instant practical fruit. This is the speciality of the conference age. Acha, Om Shanti. Let's take a few moments of silence and reflect on the various points of the Murli, and then you can come back and unmute and share your takeaways. You can unmute and share your thoughts, your reflections from today's Murli.
Om Shanti Rakiben. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Can you hear me?
You're very
Rakiben?
feeble, Gijaben, though we can hear you. But yes, this is better.
Okay. The first part of the Murli, I remember when I was a student, I've read about of this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the bad and the ugly, the two sides of what we call it as a personality. But today, Baba took us to, in the same life, in this body, I can see two worlds. I can see the tasteless world also, and I can see the happy world also. I think that was something, like a split kind of thing which you could do. That I like. It took me to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Then, of course, this Baba speaks about this life, this happy world, as just two things: purity, pavitrata, and swachata, cleanliness. And this world, now you and I, who all are staying, who are all Brahma Mukha Vanshavali, Baba says that is the fortress of purity. It's such, I always like this word fortress. It reminds me of Shivaji's Shanwarwada. So that fortress, if you stay inside, no vikar can come and touch you. That was the first reflection I could take. And of course, lust. This, generally, whenever people explain Rakiben, it's just my opinion. They always say sex, lust, and all. But Baba always mentions in his Murli only lust. So lust is not just sex lust. Today he has given us four more. So this is my checking point I have to see. Do I want to buy something? Am I attracted to physical positions? And am I attracted from people? I checked, yes, I have some limited, like I want something from Raki Ben, I want something from somebody that is still there, but I don't know why Baba called it as lust. Then, of course, fulfilling relationships, we have some desire. And lastly, service. But I think I was much more touched with the second point, and I think that's going to be a checking point to see what desires do I think, because Baba says any perishable desire is equal to impurity. Om Shanti.
Yeah, thanks for starting the whole reflection from the first point of the Murli, where Baba speaks about being pure and practice cleanliness. And it's not cleanliness just as physical cleanliness, the deeper space even in your soul conscious space. Look at every thought. In that, when Baba, so many times we heard of this slogan that think before you think. Baba is speaking about that kind of cleanliness. And then you brought about the 4 points. And yeah, that's, uh, it sounds to be very simple, but in relationship, if you speak about, oh, mother is expected to do certain things, the daughter is expected to do certain things, the son is expected to do certain things, that expectation, underline that expectation, that too is lust, is what Baba is talking about today. And I really personally like the last part of the Murli where Baba says, a content soul is like a tree which is full of fruits, because when a tree is full of fruits, the fruits are hanging and the tree branches are leaning down. And Baba says those who are humble knows how to bow down. And we always speak about, and we always, at least I know each one of us have experienced that those who are intelligent and full of values and virtues, are the people who speak the least and have that kind of humbleness, humility in them that we so many times see that even having this position and this kind of richness, how simple and grounded that person is. So, thank you for sharing the beginning of the Murli in a flow chart form, Krijaben. I invite others
Rakhi,
to share
yeah, just one
your
question I
takeaway.
wanted to,
Yes.
just if you can explain this,
Hmm.
if I see, I find such good qualities in you and Baba saying, he gave a sentence that also is desire. Could you, if you or somebody could just throw that, see, seeing some goodness in a person, speciality in a person, liking that person. Today, Baba is saying it changes into desire. If just that, if you could explain, Shanti.
I get that. Would anybody like to take up that question? All right.
Om
So,
Shanti.
yeah, Kalpesh, bhai, go ahead.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba, and thank you, Divine Family. I thought was the speciality one has, the unique quality universe Baba has given all of us. So that speciality is, so we have to miss already are given, but unique quality, everyone has a different qualities. So when we appreciate that, so it is, I think, not a must, not a lust.
Okay.
We have,
Yeah,
we have to
when we
think about.
appreciate, it's not a lot.
Mhm. But if I think how to say, I don't have a word to say. But I understand, but any you have to purity. Any your intellect mind should be pure. In your pure heart, you have to express your feelings. That
All
way,
right,
Baba
let's
is.
take this up. Yeah, I got your point. We shall take this up. I think Vijit Bhai wishes to share something and then we'll reflect on this. Yes, Vijit Bhai.
Yeah, so I mean, this Murli really talk about the root cause of all sorrow is desire. So, and it has always two forms, gross and the subtle form. So, Baba is actually focusing on the subtle form. So, like, so everybody will have some or the other qualities. So, it is true. Sometimes we might, we might feel more attracted to people with more qualities. So if you can see Prakash Manidati was one among them in the Ikea who was one influenced many, but at the same time, um, so the way to look at them would be we have to change our strategy a little bit inside that these qualities are actually given by Baba. So just like when we think we see the world, right? So we see water everywhere, right? Everywhere in the sense in well there is water, in the drainage there is water, but this all comes from the ocean, right? So finally this all water is going to go back um, to the ocean. So similarly, every quality that human beings has, right, or any people has, it all comes from the Supreme Soul, right, from Baba. So they surrendered themselves to God, or they, they did that sort of a penance through which they acquired that. So it is based on how we surrender, or how the sort of tapasya and renunciation that we do, based on that, it automatically grows within us. That's what I believe. Um, so that is why we see Baba teaches the same Murli to everyone. But in Yagya, if you see, everybody is different, right? And we like everyone because everybody demonstrate different qualities, uh, and and we like all the qualities that they demonstrate, right? You take Janki Dadi or Gulsa Dadi or Prakash Mani, that they all have different qualities, but not only them, but others also. But everybody is unique, from the same teaching. So that means their Purusharth is different. So based on their Purusharth, they're taking it from the God. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to convey here. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Thanks, Kalpesh Bhai and Vijit Bhai, for sharing your thoughts. My perspective or reflection on this point is, Baba says it is good to see the goodness in others when you connect from the point of view imbibing that goodness in your own self. But if you're just getting attracted towards that goodness and you want to just take sustenance from that soul, or you want to just be in the company of that soul, or you just want a particular object because you just like it, then that is the form of lust. So if in, as you mentioned, Giljaben, um, if I look at it from our current state, each one of us like the way you put across the whole flowchart of the Murli. But if I want to hear only that from Grijaben, then that is a form of lust or an attraction or an attachment. But if I would imbibe this particular quality that Baba has imbibed in you and would like to practice it myself, then I am bringing that goodness in my world to elevate myself. And I'm not getting hooked to only having that from you. This was just one reflection, if that answers the question that you had.
Yeah, just one aspect. As long as the goodness of others prevents me from becoming good, I think it depends upon how I imbibe.
Yes.
And it also depends on my goodness. Am I not allowing other people to be good? I think it's a reciprocal approach. That's how I take it.
Yeah, so if you look at the next part of the Murli where Baba speaks about two different things, jealousy and enmity, he brought about this point that you spoke about. Am I restricting myself by bringing in those kind of weaknesses which may show up at any given point of time, any kind of grudge, any kind of jealousy, any kind of enmity, then I am not allowing the goodness from me also to flow out and take the goodness from others. So I think very well Baba had this flow chart that he brought in right from the beginning of the Murli to how to see within your own self how much clean are you and from which space of cleanliness are you operating, from physical level to the most deepest subtle level.
And the royal form of desire, or it's very difficult to understand unless one is not realizing that. I think it becomes really difficult to change. So I remember an incident that happened in one center, and then I remember this was shared in one of the class that a a husband came to knowledge, and he took the course, and then he liked it, and he wanted his wife also to take the course. And when he spoke to the sister there, and then he said, and his wife was also working, and there was, I think she was some teacher or something in a government school. And then when this husband spoke to the Inja, the sender Inja who was taking the class, and he said, my wife is always, when she talk or she always lie a lot. Okay, though things are not there, she lies and give over commitments to people, and take up things that which she may not be able to do, but she gives her words that I will do it, but she doesn't do it. So in a way she was lying. Okay, but let's say somebody comes, and when she speak to them, if they are suffering because of money or something, she will say, oh, I have so much of money, you come to my home, I will give you. Or she gives a lot of hope to people, but she doesn't really fulfill that. So husband knowing that, and he shared with the sister, and then he thought that when she take this course and start practicing Raj Yoga, she might she might change. So that was his intention. But later, she came, and she did not take the course. And when the sister started speaking to this lady, and that lady spoke very nicely, and then after some time, the sister came back to the husband and said that, um, if we have to change her, right? So uh, at the first place, she has to realize that she is making a mistake. Unless she is not realizing, we can't correct her. Okay, so or else she'll have to come and take the daily course and come to Murli. All that is the second thing. But at the first place, one is making a mistake unless he is not realizing that I am going through a wrong path. I am not, I supposed to be doing good, or I have to change what I'm doing. Unless they don't realize, they don't really try to correct themselves. So here also the subtle desires is sometimes people are unaware whether we are making these mistakes or not. So unless we don't really check, we don't really understand these mistakes. And unless we don't understand, we don't change it. Yeah. Om Shanti. Thank you.
I said, how much ever others wants anybody to change, it's going to be the person who has to realize if the change has to occur. Yeah, Gujaben, I am reading what you mentioned here. To be impressed is equal to attachment and subservient. Jealousy and enmity is equal to when I justify myself, I am right or being stubborn. These feelings, time waste, loss, distress, sorrow, so become victorious over these two as well. Yeah. Anything else any would like to share, or shall we before we move on to meditation? All right. Let's take a few moments of silence, and without any commentary, let's have this 2 minutes completely reflecting on what Baba has spoken today, and how am I, the soul, currently on all those lines? What is my stage? And what is the gap that I need to bridge in? Just let's have this self reflection for next 2 minutes. Om Shanti. Let's set ourselves on the world stage today and bring in all of those checking points in all my actions and my connections that I am going to be playing through my role the entire day today. Have a wonderful day. See you all tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.